Just like anybody else, we have, we want to exercise more. There's always something that you want to add to your life to make it better. And about a month ago, when I got up in the morning, she said, "You know what? We should just set up a kind of a schedule for the week. So we don't have to decide every day whether we're going to exercise or stretch or whatever." So we did. We kind of worked it out. What do we want to do? We want to fast once a week. Fasting is really good for you. If you didn't know that, check out my website. Just look up fasting. There's a lot of good stuff on there. And we want to exercise 4 times a week. And we want to stretch 4 times a week. And we want a cheat day because we usually eat fairly low carb. And we want a day when we can have, tacos or pizza or something. So we write this all out. We figured out what days we're going to do what, stuff like that, and we've been doing it ever since. And it's super easy. We got this idea in a couple of places, but Classy's the one that put it together and initiated this new way of living. Part of it was our experience using Headspace, which is an app for your phone that helps you meditate. And one of the features on there is that it tells you what your streak is. So it would say when you get on there, it's like you've meditated 17 days in a row. And it doesn't matter if you did a 3-minute meditation or an hour meditation, it's still counted as a meditation that day. And we noticed that it motivated us to keep the streak going. Oh, we're at 101 days. Let's go another. Let's not skip today. We're on a roll. It was such a simple thing, but it really had an impact. Another insight we got from a friend of ours was what she said in an interview. She's been a runner most of all of her adult life, and she was being interviewed for for running this one race every year it's been run. And somebody asked her about motivation, what keeps her motivated. She says, "I don't really worry about motivation. I just keep my schedule. On Wednesdays I go run with these people. Mondays is the day for this." She didn't even consider it an issue of motivation. She just set up a schedule and then did the schedule. So putting these things together, one of the things that we did with our schedule is we don't have a time limit. We don't say we're going to exercise for a half hour on Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. We say we're going to exercise. We don't have any amount. We're fasting on Tuesdays, but that could be a 24-hour fast. That could be a 16-hour fast. Could be a 3-day fast, but we start a fast on Tuesdays. So she named it, when she was telling me about it, she said it's kind of like a soft commitment, kind of like the way Headspace did it. You could do a 3-minute meditation. So if you're on a streak and you normally do, say, 20-minute meditations, but today you're running short of time or you're just not into it or you don't feel like it, you can sit down and do a 3-minute meditation and keep your streak. And we could do that with exercise, and we could do that with stretching and fasting. And then we get that extra motivation just to keep the streak going. And it turns out that we don't cheat. We'll go out for exercise and, we could just go walk for 2 minutes and come back and say, well, we exercised. But we haven't yet done that. The same with stretching. A couple of times we stretched less. It's like, I'm not really into it, or I'm kind of sore from yesterday or whatever. And you just do a little bit, but you still kept your streak and you still did something. But what we notice is once we've started doing it, it's like, why not go? Because you're doing this because you're motivated to do it anyway, right? I mean, you are still motivated to do it. You want this thing. That's why you set it up in the first place. So you don't very often, at least we haven't, and I think this is true for most people, is you wouldn't very often cheat on yourself. You might just do a little once in a while. You might go, okay, I'll keep the streak going. I'm just going to do it very, very briefly because I don't really have time today. But for the most part, you won't. And because you have such a soft commitment or such a small commitment, it becomes regular. And a lot of these things, as you know, what makes them good is that they're regular. Like it doesn't really matter if you run a marathon on the weekend if you only exercise once a month. I mean, it might do a little bit, but really not much. What makes exercise really good for you is when you do it regularly. And so you can build up your strength and endurance over time. And that really needs to be something regular. So these soft commitments make it possible or make it easier or more likely that it'll be regular. So if this is something that if you've been struggling with something, like you want to do something and it requires a regular commitment. Try a soft commitment. Just set up a schedule and don't say how much you're going to do of it. Just say that you will do it on these days and see how it works. If you got any comments or questions, write to me at adamkhan@usa.com. And if you want to keep updated with what we're doing, subscribe to my blog at adamleekhan.com.